Hey everybody, I got Danny here. We're gonna go through a little bit of his system again. I think last time we did it was about a month or two ago, and a lot of his followers are asking about his charts in terms of how to read it, what to do. So here's Danny. You there?
Yes, I'm here. First of all, good morning and good evening because we are in different time zones.
Yes, welcome. So I'm pulling out one of your charts here for
Oh, yes.
and
Okay, so I think you have a basic idea of how to read my chart. So
yeah.
in case I miss out something important, you can just add um your ideas and commentary.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do, but I think a lot of people don't. So we can go
Oh,
through
yes.
panel by
So we start
panel.
from the very basic, very
Yeah.
fundamental, so that people can understand how to read my charts more accurately and effectively in a short time. So as you can see from the screen, there are 5 different panels in my system. And I think the basic thing is to know whether it's a daily chart, weekly chart, or monthly chart. So do you know where we can find these symbols?
Yes, it's on the left upper corner. I
Yes,
am showing you right now with my mouse. So daily for D, W for
yes. D
for
at
M.
the top left refers to daily chart, and W stands for weekly, and M stands for monthly. Okay, so daily chart is for traders, and weekly charts or monthly charts are for long-term investors like me. Okay, so let's take a look at panel one.
Yep.
Okay, so you will find the 2 different ribbons in different colors. So first of all, the blue ribbon as well as the red ribbon. So actually, the ribbons refers to a midterm trend. And all these ribbons are made up of small daily candles. Okay, so let's go back to the ribbon first. So the blue ribbon refers to the downtrend, the midterm downtrend, whereas the red ribbon refers to the uptrend, the midterm uptrend. So first of all, to know whether the stock is in a downtrend or uptrend is very important. You can just take a look at the color of the ribbon. So is this part clear to you, Kat?
Yes, it's very clear. I mean, I can
Okay.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if I miss out something important, just help me out.
Sure.
Okay. And then we take a look at the 4 different candles. In other words, the candles in 4 different colors. Okay, we've got the red color, yellow color, light blue, as well as the dark blue. Okay, so the most important colors are the red candles. Okay, so the red candles refers to a bullish trend. So instead of saying it's a buy signal, I will just put it in a subtle way. Um, it's a bullish signal. Okay, so after the red candle, you will find the dark blue candles, which mean the continuation of the bullish trend. Because it can't be red colors all the time because when the bullish trend continues, okay, so the system is using different colors to indicate the continuation. Okay, so that's why we've got the dark blue colors. Okay, and when the bearish trend sets in, so we've got yellow candles.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is the last thing that we want to see because every time the yellow candles show up, it means the bearish trend is going to come. Okay, so it serves as a pre-warning to us. And the light blue colors just simply mean the continuation of the bearish trend. Okay, so very easy. So as a very quick summary, we've got the ribbons which are telling us whether the stock is in an uptrend or downtrend. And all these ribbons are made up of small daily candles.
Hmm.
Okay, so the colors of the candles refer to the short term bullish or bearish trend.
Yes.
Okay, so did I miss out anything important
No, I think that's a pretty
so far?
good summary so far. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, good to hear. And then we've got the blue bars in panel one, and all these blue bars are quite important to me. And usually, for people who just look at the chart, they don't know the numbers. Sometimes they've come up with the numbers, and sometimes they don't. Okay, so why? What do you think? Okay, so my question for you, Kat. So why do you think that some blue bars have the numbers, whereas some do not have?
Well, I mean, the blue bars is basically very similar to the volume anchored profile. It
Exactly.
yeah, it tells you which price does it have the most stock trading hands. So these are
Yeah.
basically the volume for each of the price, and I think it's only showing you the numbers for the biggest ones.
Exactly. Okay, so you will find that all these numbers are quite important because they give us a hint, okay, of the biggest transactions
Mhm.
previously.
Yeah.
Okay, so all these numbers are important because they tell us the support levels as well as the resistance levels. So actually on the right hand side, you will also find the volume shelf, okay, and also these blue bars, so they combine together to tell us the most important support as well as the resistance levels. Okay, so I have mentioned a few times before, so we buy at support and sell at resistance if we are traders.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I think that should be good enough for panel one. Okay, now
Yes.
let's move down to panel two. Okay, now panel two is just a mimic of panel one. So sometimes okay now when I'm writing up my analysis, so usually I don't try to go for each panel in detail because I have to do lots of stock analysis each day. So I can't spend all the time okay now going through the details from panel one to panel five. Otherwise, okay, now I won't be able to finish up. Okay, so that's why usually I skip panel two because as I have mentioned just now, panel two is a mimic of panel one. However, there are a few things which I would like to clarify when observing panel two. So first of all, we've got the trend line as well. So in panel one, we've got the ribbon, which tells us the trend. Okay, now in panel two, we've got the different colors, which tell us the trend line. So first of all, we've got the green trend line. So can you find the green trend lines? Let me
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see one over there.
Yeah, unfortunately for NVDA, okay, now
Yeah.
the last part of the trend line is green.
Yeah.
Can you see that? So
Yep.
the green one means downtrend, whereas the purple one refers to the uptrend.
Yep.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we can spot the
Yes.
green part because it's quite difficult, you know. So Nvidia has always been in an uptrend, and here the last few days, so we find the green one. Okay, so above the trend line, we've got the red bars as well as the green bars. The red bars refers to the bullish sentiment. Okay, and whereas the green bars refers to bearish sentiments. Okay, so as you can see, when there's a change from red bar to green bar, okay, now it indicates a shift from bullish to bearish sentiment. Okay, so that's quite easy to understand panel two. So that's why usually I skip part two or panel two because usually you know all the details basically just by observing panel one.
Yeah. Except that panel two does give you some early signal. For example, if
Yes.
you just so over here,
Yeah.
right, like just a few days ago, you can see that the bull trend, the red candles over here on panel two, it shifts
Yeah.
from red to green, and that gives you a little bit of an early signal. There might be a little bit of a trend change before the bearish signal up on panel one showed up, like a few days before that. So sometimes you're able to pick up a little bit of a trend change before that, but the panel one, I think the sell signal and buy signal, sometimes it waits for confirmation before that. So there's a little bit of like a delay compared to like panel two, but it's just a different way to look at it. So
Yeah. And so one more thing which I would like to add in observing these two panels is that we can see that the red ribbon in panel one is tightening, it's narrowing. Okay, so actually it implies that the uptrend will soon be over,
Yeah.
or it might be just over because of the yellow candle,
Yeah.
the recent yellow candle that show up a couple of days ago. So in this case, so we might be very worried about the trend. So what should we do? Okay, so for investors, the long-term investors, we focus on weekly or monthly charts, which cat is going to show you later on. But for traders, I think you need to be very cautious about the yellow candle because you usually indicates a downtrend. And then in panel two, we've got the trend line turning from purple to green one.
Hmm.
And if you get down to the third panel, panel three, okay, now we see more pictures about as well as retail accumulation. Okay, so let's take a look at panel three. So there are three different colors for the bars, green bar, yellow bars, as well as the red bars. Okay, so most of the time we focus on two different colors, green and red. Why? Because yellow bars refers to daily traders, which we do not really care about them. Okay, so we just focus on the well accumulation as indicated by the red bars, and green bar refer to retail accumulation. Okay, so it's very easy to detect. The longer the red bar,
Hmm.
the better the trend, the more bullish the trend,
Yeah.
and the longer the green bar, the more bearish the stock is.
Yes.
Yeah, and actually, there's some rules which I would like to go through
Yeah.
when we are looking at the bars. So we need to see at least 50% of the red bars. I mean, the well accumulation for the stock to rise, and more than 75% for the stock to soar.
Mm.
Okay, so do you understand why I set the limit at 50%? Because sometimes if the stock is retail dominated, for example, retail accumulation accounts for more than 50%, it's very hard. It's very hard for the stock to pick up the momentum
Hmm.
because the whales are not in full control. So
Hmm.
that's why we set the percentage at 50%. So, in other words, whales have to dominate, have to take full control of the stock so that the stock price can rise. And 75% is a very ideal number, okay, now for the stock to pick up lots of momentum. Okay, so that's why every time when I'm doing my analysis, I pay very special attention to all these numbers because they do hint lots of important things.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and I think yeah. So far, panel one to panel three should be clear enough. Did I miss out anything important? When I talk about well accumulation as well as the retail accumulation. Oh yes, one more thing. Okay, all right. Okay, now before I forget. Now in panel three, can we just take a look at the last bar? The last bar.
Yes.
Actually, okay. If you take a look at the last part, you don't find something important, but the thing is that you need to compare the previous patterns. So that's why we always compare 10 bars or 20 bars to observe a general trend. We need a general trend, not just a daily pattern. Okay, so you will find that the well accumulation has been on steady decline. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So if we find a general trend, which is also a downtrend in well accumulation, not an uptrend. Okay. And the last thing that we want to see is the green color of the last bar. We find that some retail investors have jumped in. Okay, so as you can see, when we see something green here, is not good. Is not really good for the stock. Okay, so that's why if you go back to the middle part of the panel three, we will find that usually the stock pick up the momentum when all these green bars, which represent retail accumulation, start to disappear.
Yes. Very
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah. So that's
Very
why,
cool.
okay. Um, anyway, patience is the key. So we just wait patiently for the whales to get rid of the green bass one day. But remember, my chart cannot predict. We cannot predict. We don't have the crystal ball to predict the price actions of anything. So that's why what we can do is to summarize the previous trend, and then we take a look at each panel so that we can identify, so that so that we can think about what's going to happen in the future. Okay, so now panel 1 to panel 3, they are very important. Okay,
Yeah.
so when you're analyzing a stock. And also one more thing. Okay, now can we just go back to the yellow candle, the last yellow candle in panel 1?
Yes.
Okay, so now the last yellow candle actually also aligns with a decrease in wealth accumulation. Can you see that? So that's
Yes.
why the bearish pattern, bearish trend is confirmed. Sometimes, okay, now we might be wondering, okay, now whether it's just a coincidence or whether we human beings can outperform the AI system.
Hmm. Yep.
This is what I'm always trying to think about. So sometimes we think that we are smarter, we work uh, we work smartly than AI, but unfortunately, they are always right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why. Okay, so the yellow candle with the downtrend in wealth accumulation, and that's double confirmation.
Yeah.
Okay, so sometimes we need one more signal to confirm. So that's why I want to use panel 1 and panel 3 together
Yeah.
to look for that double confirmation. Okay, and whether it's in an uptrend or is whether it's a downtrend.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's get down to the last two panels, which is panel 4 and panel 5. So panel 4 and panel 5, they are technical indicators. So I include these two technical indicators because first of all, they are very easy for beginners, and secondly, they are quite accurate. Most of the time, I can say that there's no technical indicator which is 100% accurate. Otherwise, we would be filthy rich.
Yeah.
Okay, so we find something which are most of the time accurate, reader friendly, easy to use, and that's it. So that's why I include the last two technical indicators, which are MACD as well as RSI. Okay, now in panel 4, this is MACD. Okay, which is made up of slow line and fast line. And when you find that the fast line is crossing over the slow line, and they start to curl up, so we call it golden cross, and vice versa, death cross. Okay, so now can we just use something as an example? Let's see. First of all, can we just find the golden cross? Okay. All right. Now that would be somewhere the second last red candle. Can you find the second last red candle in the blue ribbon in panel 1?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you draw a line vertically, you will find that the red candle actually um, appeared before the MACD golden cross a few
Yeah.
days before it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in other words, the MACD technical indicator golden cross
Hmm.
is a lagging indicator. Okay, so it appeared actually just a few days, 1, 2, 3, 4, a few days after the red candle appeared in the blue ribbon in panel 1.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's why I think my system, the red candle is, or the yellow candle is more accurate.
Yeah.
I can say I can. Okay, let's put it this way. So actually, all these technical indicators, like MACD or RSI, they they appear later than the red candles or yellow candles. Okay, so when you see the MACD golden cross, NVDA picks up the momentum and keeps rising
Yep.
until, yeah, until the fast line. Um, let's see, formed a death course with the slow line.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that would be the yellow candle, the second last yellow candle.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that would be what we call death cross in jargon. Um, and since then, NVIDIA was losing some steam and was trending down until another red candle appeared. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Now, let's get down to the last panel, which is RSI. So I think it doesn't matter. Okay, now because people are using different RSI to spot the trend, so it can be lots of variations, but we try to find the general trend. Okay, so I personally like to use RSI 9 and RSI 14, but it doesn't matter. Okay, sometimes people might be using RSI 21, whatever. Okay, it doesn't really matter to me. So we just spot the trend. Okay, now there are three different conditions for RSI: over, boards,
Hmm.
normal, and oversold. So we have to remember the numbers now when we are checking the RSI. Okay, so first of all, overboards. So do you remember the number of overboards? That would be RSI doing at
I think it depends on different people set up different
yeah, yes,
threshold. Some people are like 70 or 75, it really
yeah.
depends. And then
Yeah.
usually
So
normals around 50.
what about your own interpretation of the overboard condition?
It's different for different assets. For
Yeah,
somebody as bullish as NVIDIA, I think it can go up to like 70s and 80s easy.
yeah,
But that would be overbought, and it could, if it's volatile enough, it could go down to like the 20s and 30s easy. So
exactly.
yeah,
But yeah, as a rule, I think 80 is a decent number for
yeah,
overboard. Yeah, and for oversold, that would be 20. So in other words, in between, so that would be in a normal
yeah,
state. Okay, and remember, each stock has different character and personality, and they top out or bottom out at different numbers.
yeah. I agree with that.
Sometimes yeah, so that's why in my system I can check. Okay, now for example for NVIDIA, so usually they top out, so usually it tops out at 85 to 90
Hmm.
every time. Yeah, but for some hot stocks, they might just top out at 95
Yeah.
to something. So
Something
it's very
ridiculous.
hard to,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very hard to generalize, because and usually for MSTR, it may just top out at 76 to 77. So that's why you need to remember different numbers again in which all these stocks top out or bottom out.
Yeah.
So in my system, I can just check it easily, but I'm not sure whether you can spot the similar trend by using different websites or different systems. But anyway, so far so good for my system. So usually I think I can spot the trend very easily
Yeah.
if I just go from panel 1 to panel 5 together. So actually, we've got 5 panels okay,
Yeah.
now to confirm the accuracy um, and also the general trend.
Yeah. I have
Okay.
something else, just one more thing
Yes.
to add, which is how far on panel one, how far the candle is away from the ribbon. So in general, if you have a trend, you can have the candles pretty far away from the ribbon. But at
Yes.
some point, once the trend is exhausted, once the trend is done, if it's way too far outside the ribbon, you are at risk for a mean reversion for it to go back to the ribbon. And when you're
Yes.
attacking the ribbon, you can either bounce from the ribbon and keep going higher, or there is a potential for the ribbon to thin out. And when that ribbon thins out and you're not able to bounce, you can potentially drop underneath the ribbon and have a bearish trend, which is what looks like on the daily is doing. Now,
Yeah.
with that said, the candle is a little bit far from the ribbon now, underneath us.
Yes. Okay. So we might be expecting a few more daily candles, which are just below the red ribbon. And if this is the case, so what do you think? The bearish
It,
trend, the blue
daily is
ribbon
hard to
will be
tell,
on the
right?
way.
Yeah, because if you look at we're going to look at a higher time frame in a second, but if you look at the
Yeah.
daily time frame, you have a sell candle, but you might just have like this is a crazy bullish stock in general. So if you look at
Mm.
a sell candle, you might just have like a week, of like or two a downtrend, and it doesn't go that
Exactly.
farm
Yeah.
that far. and next thing you know,
Yeah,
you have a mean reversion and just get back to the ribbon, and it turns the ribbon red again. So
yeah.
that's yeah,
Exactly. So actually, this scenario, I mean, the recent scenario, reminds me of something which happened in April.
yeah,
So remember what happened to NVIDIA in April? So there was a I can't say it's a very big correction, but there was a correction. There was a
yeah,
pullback from like $97 to $75, and it
yeah,
lasts for around 3 weeks to 1 month. So
yeah,
probably history may not repeat the same, but it does rhyme. So probably we might have the similar trend
mhm,
between July and August. Okay.
mhm.
And and I don't know, but anyway, this is what I have observed from panel one to panel five for NVIDIA.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's
Yeah.
great. Thank you for sharing. Now we can go to the
Yeah.
weekly chart and we can have less explanation, dive right into what you think.
Yeah. Okay.
Let
So
me show you the
the
weekly
the really
chart here.
the really chart is still beautiful. It's
Yeah,
still bullish.
yeah,
So sometimes people when people look at the yellow candles, when people look at the blue ribbons, they are not happy. They are quite upset. So that's why I
yeah,
get lots of questions asking me whether they have to sell.
yeah.
So I think it's a very hard question for me because it mainly depends on whether you are a trader or an investor, and it also depends on whether your holding power is strong or not. So I can't just give you simple financial advice because you have to do your own research. You have to look into lots of factors before making a firm decision. Okay, so let's go back to the weekly chart. Okay, so we don't find the blue ribbon in panel one, which is a good thing. So so it tells us that the NVIDIA has been in an uptrend on the weekly charts, doing higher highs and higher lows. So looking back, if you just bought at every dip, so you would be making good money.
Yeah.
If you just follow these signals and ride with the trend, that's what you have to do. You don't have to trade in and out.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Now, so let's take a look at the last red candle in panel one. So sometimes people are asking me whether this size matters because you find just a very tiny red in the candle. I think it doesn't matter. Size doesn't matter to me because it's the color which matters. Okay. So the last red candle actually appeared at around $88. I think I still remember the time that um you and I were doing the first recording about NVIDIA
Yeah.
before the earnings, and I was happy that the market really really gave us the opportunity to buy the dip. Okay, and yeah, in your imagine you were buying at $90 and NVIDIA was soaring to 140, so that would
Yeah.
be another 50% profit in just 1 month.
Yep.
Okay, so anyway, um, if you take a look at panel two, it's also five, just a little bit shift from the red to the green green bar, which is an indication of the bearish sentiment.
Mhm.
However, if you look at the well accumulation, it's still fine, still reaching
Yeah.
93.4%. So the well accumulation is still very high.
Yep.
Okay, so the weekly chart bullish trend stays intact in
Yep.
spite of daily fluctuations on the daily chart. Um, Panel four and panel five. So the fast now in MACD is going down a little bit, and let's see whether they can form another golden cross and curl up later in the future. Hopefully, um, if the earnings are surprisingly good. So who knows? Because
Well,
sometimes Nvidia is very much driven
yeah.
by the earnings every
Yeah.
time. So when they announce very good earnings, Nvidia can just shoot up with a huge
Mhm.
gap, and it happened many times before.
Yep.
Okay, and RSI curling down, unfortunately. Okay,
Yeah.
so here you go, panel one to panel five.
Yep.
So we've got a very clean chart
Yeah.
showing us the general trend.
The
Nothing to
ribbon,
worry about for the time being.
yeah, the ribbon is still very thick, on the weekly, and it's
Yeah.
still way above the ribbon. So even though you have a little bit of a bearish sentiment, I'm not sure. I'm not seeing any warning sign. RSI is cooling down. So
So
yeah.
so is my analysis matching yours? So
Yeah, I mean,
what do you
I
think?
think so. I think the weekly
Yeah,
still looks pretty decent. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. We have another
And
like 9 minutes or so. Like you want to talk about the monthly, and then we'll see how far we can go.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And can I just draw your attention to the middle part of the ribbon?
Oh, the
So in
right
other words,
there
in
on the
panel one,
weekly.
the middle
Yeah.
part of the ribbon, which is the red ribbon, which is tightening.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see the middle part of the red ribbon in panel one is tightening? Okay,
Yes.
now so every time when the red ribbon is tightening, so we might have an idea that the blue trend is going to end soon, and this will be replaced by the downtrend, which is the blue ribbon. However, okay, so as I have mentioned before, I like to make use of panel one and panel three together to support the trend. So that's why if you take a look at panel three, well, accumulation was still very strong at that time,
Yep.
even though the red ribbon is tightening. So, from my observation, the weakest red bar is still 79 to 80%. Okay,
Yep.
so remember last time, probably 20 minutes ago, we talked about 50% of the well accumulation, 75% of the well accumulation. So it still matched the criteria. I mean, the well accumulation was still very strong. So that's why we didn't have the blue ribbon, we didn't have the downtrend even on the weekly charts because of the strong well accumulation. So that's why sometimes people are very worried about the daily fluctuations, but they don't check out the weekly charts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost like never like to look at your daily. I really like to look at your weekly and monthly.
But people are just very worried about the
Yeah.
daily trend. So that's
Yeah.
why,
I know
yeah.
whenever
So
you
that's
show
why,
the whenever you show the daily chart, everybody freaks out. I'm like,
yeah. I don't want to scare people. Yeah, I don't want to create such bad sentiment. I want to be bullish every day, every
I
week.
know, right?
Okay.
That's the way to
Yeah.
go. Yeah, bullish every day. But yeah, but
Yeah.
this is the monthly chart. So I think you really like you
Okay.
yeah, you want to talk about it.
Yes, the monthly chart is absolutely beautiful and stunning. So one more thing which I would like to share with most of our followers is how to spot the bottoming process. Because sometimes the stock can be dipping anytime. So there's no sign of bottoming out. But from my chart, I can just simply tell whether the stock is bottoming or not. Okay, so let's take a look at the monthly chart. Can we just spot the blue ribbon? The blue ribbon.
Yes.
Okay, so now when you see two signs, the blue ribbon, which is tightening, so this is the first sign of the stock bottoming out. However, we want double confirmation, so that's why we want to find the red candle in the blue ribbon. So here there are how many? Two signals telling us that the stock is bottoming out. Okay, so if you take a look at the last red, in other words, for the monthly chart, the last red candle in panel one, along with the blue ribbon. So this is the early sign telling us that NVDA was already bottoming out. So you have to buy here so that you can ride with the trend easily.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, and also if you want, because we are human beings, we want more confirmation. Get down to panel two, please. So the trend line has also shifted from green to purple just 1 month before the red candle.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you get down to panel three, so we will find a steady increase in well accumulation as well as a gradual decrease in retail accumulation, the
Yep.
green bar. Yeah, so we've got triple confirmations in my chart. So if
Yes.
you buy when the red candle appears along with the blue ribbon, so you're very smart,
Yeah,
you
no,
just
it's
ride
good
with the
buying.
trend. So
Yeah.
why do you have to train it now?
I don't know because
Because
people look at your daily chart and they get freaked out. That's why.
yes. So if you trade, because I really don't like people trading in and out
Yeah.
unless you are very smart, very
Yeah.
professional. But I am not, so that's why I prefer to be in no profile. Just buy in, ride with the trend
Yeah.
until the yellow candle appears on the
Yep.
monthly chart, telling me to sell. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah. Because I want to also
and
point
and
out like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
No,
Cats.
like your red candle has worked out perfectly. It doesn't time the bottom, but you don't have to time the bottom.
Exactly. We don't because we I tell my followers not to time the bottom because it doesn't make sense because the whales create the bottom, create the fall for us, create the trend for us, and then we just simply ride with them. Because
Yeah,
first of all, we are not rich enough to time the bottom. We
yeah,
can just add things every day, every week, or every month. Maybe
yeah,
you can, maybe some people can, but I can't. So that's why I need to wait for the whales to create the bottom, to create a floor, to create a
yeah,
trend for us, so that we ride with them. Okay,
yeah,
so my system doesn't tell you which is the bottom price or which
yeah.
is the highest price that you need to sell.
Right.
And even if you go back to the last yellow candle,
Yeah,
so we don't sell NVDA at the top. Okay, so and actually, no fund manager or no big whales
yeah,
sell stocks at the very top.
yeah,
Remember Warren Buffett?
yeah,
He was selling BYD at even $220.
yeah,
But the top for BYD was 350.
yeah, yeah. You don't have to
So that's
time
why
it perfect. Yeah,
you know
yeah.
by quoting him, I find many excuses.
Because if you sell where the bear signal is there, and if you buy where the buy signal is there, even though you don't time the top or the bottom, you still end up avoiding a significant bear market, which is also protective for your psychological being as well. So
Exactly. So if, for example, if you
yeah,
sell when the yellow candle appeared, the last yellow candle appeared,
yeah,
you could still avoid the crash. You could still avoid the bearish trend.
yeah. And this
Um,
and this happened twice, and they actually this system
yeah,
timed perfectly twice on the monthly. So
yeah, exactly. So actually, yeah, history does repeat sometimes. You find a similar downtrend. Can you find it? I think it looks quite similar in terms of let's say, in terms of the pattern.
yeah,
Okay, now in terms of the width of the ribbon.
yep,
Yeah, so probably as you can see, the bullish trend still stays intact on the monthly chart. So probably we might be experiencing some more bullish trend depending on how well
yeah,
the earnings are,
yeah,
depending on the macros, and depending on whether whales are cooperative or not.
yeah.
Yeah, and as you can see in panel three,
Right.
it's very strong whale accumulation. Nothing
Yeah,
to criticize.
yeah.
Everything looks fine
Nothing to worry
from
about.
daily to monthly charts. Yeah, so nothing to worry. So we are doing this video to assure people
The
on the red
worst
days.
the
Don't
worst it gets
worry.
at we have like another 1 minute I think that we run out of time, but the worst it gets is it goes sideways. We are a little bit overextended away from the red
Okay.
ribbon, but
Yes.
like we could potentially go sideways for a few months. That's a possibility, but it's still
Yeah.
a very nice bull trend, and after consolidation most likely is going to keep going up. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks all for explaining my chart.
Yeah, no, thank you for joining.
Yeah,
Like,
adding
I
your
think we could
commentary.
drop out anytime, so I want to say
Yes.
goodbye to you, Danny.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Pleasure as always, and I'm gonna upload
Yeah.
this for you.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a
Take
lot,
care,
Kat.
Danny.
Okay. Thank
Yep.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.